Volleyball is a very competitive sport which requires a lot of skill and physiological capability. This means that not everyone can play the sport competitively. For example, someone who is short and has bad body composition wouldn't be able to jump or run around the court as skillfully as someone who is tall and has great agility or body composition. A human body needs energy to run, and that fuel comes from food which produces calories, protein, and fat. The calories are the most dominant when producing energy for the body as they are used in the form of ATP-CP. This is like an engine for the body which runs for 30 seconds, and after that it takes up to 3 minutes to restore. After that comes the glycolysis system, which activates after ATP-CP. You can run up to 2 to 4 minutes and it takes 30 minutes to recover. After that comes the aerobic system, which runs for the longest amount of time until protein and carbohydrates have run out. It takes approximately 24 to 48 hours to recover. Top 5 fitness components required for volleyball: speed, agility, power, flexibility, and endurance. Speed. Professional players in volleyball need to be really quick at running around the court to get to the ball to hit it over the net. This requires a lot of speed because volleyballs can travel up to speeds of 132 km per hour. This also means that players' reaction time needs to be really quick, as they have very little time to react. Agility. Players in volleyball need to have excellent agility as they are always ducking, diving, dodging. These things require a player to be at the right place at the right time and move their body efficiently so that they can play their shot. Power. A standard volleyball net is 10 feet high and requires a player to jump higher than that and hit a successful spike or a block. This is very hard to do as players need to have excellent upper body strength because it's not just about hitting the ball. It's about hitting the ball with power in mid-air, which requires a lot of upper body strength. Flexibility. Injuries is the biggest fear for any sports player. And 90% of the time, volleyball players stretches or tears their muscle due to lack of flexibility. Playing volleyball requires players to lunge forward and hit the ball to recover it. And if the player is not flexible, then they stretch too much, they may tear the muscle, which can cause a fatal injury. Endurance. A standard volleyball game has 3 sets that can take up to 60 to 90 minutes, and playing volleyball for that long requires great endurance. To play for this long requires a good mental and aerobic endurance. If a player lacks those skills, then they would not be able to play volleyball at their 100% for 60 to 90 minutes straight. Strengths. In volleyball, I have strengths such as agility, endurance, and speed. I have had great agility because of my slim body frame, which allows me to be quicker and have a burst of energy. Because I'm able to stay light on my feet, I achieved a time of 4.3 seconds in the shuttle run, where I ran one cone, then to another, and then back to the center. My endurance is another skill that I have had for a long time because I have always played sports such as basketball, track and field, and football, which require a lot of endurance. I was able to apply that endurance into volleyball. However, I did not test my endurance as I was away on the day where it was tested. Speed. Speed is something which, in combination with agility and endurance, is very lethal, and therefore I am really fast at running. Since I have done a lot of track and field events such as 100-meter sprint, 4x100 rally, and discus, I was able to use the skill of speed from those events and apply it to volleyball. Again, I was away on the day of testing and was not able to check my speed. Weakness. Just like strengths, I have weaknesses as well, which include power, flexibility, and muscular strength. For example, I lack in power because I do not have a lot of upper body strength, and so when I jump to spike the ball, the opponent is able to recover it because I wasn't very fast. Because the ball wasn't very fast. I also lack in flexibility. This is a thing that has been a problem for a long time. I've had multiple injuries because I was not very flexible, and in volleyball, uh, not not being able to reach very far is an issue because you have to be able to recover the ball. Muscular strength is another thing that has stayed with me for a long time. Since most of my family was skinny when they were young, I turned out to be skinny as well. Therefore, I lacked in muscular strength. However, this is not something I cannot improve, and in the future, if I go to the gym, I will be able to gain some muscle and use that strength in volleyball. This is an example of a bad spike. As you can see over here, he's getting into position and he's about to hit the ball. He hits it straight up. He has a chance to hit it straight back. However, he uses the wrong technique and this happens. As you can see, he used both of his fists to hit the ball over, which clearly did not work, and the ball hits the net. Now if we look at a good example of this, you can see the ball is hit up, he's ready to get into position, hits it up, he's about to spike it, and down it goes to the other side. This bad example can be improved by drills such as um, set dig set spike, which is very useful for fixing techniques such as this. As you can see, as soon as the ball goes up, instead of doing this, if he got into position with both of his hands forward, he would be able to give it, set it to someone else, who would set it to someone else, and spike it. This would have been much better than putting two fists together and trying to hit it over. As you can see, he's clearly unbalanced, and his hand hits the side of the ball instead of hitting under it, which will result in a better shot.